and welcome to my look at 10 more repositioning cruise itineraries. One of the earliest lists that I'd made was a look at the top 10 cruise repositioning route, and it proved to be not only one of the easiest lists for me to do, as they are my favourite type of cruise, but it also proved to be one of the most popular videos that I have produced. If you haven't watched that video yet, I have linked to it in the description. It has been 3 years since I wrote that list and produced the video, and in that time I have enjoyed more repositioning cruises myself, have researched plenty more, and I've also had some great feedback from the readers of the CruiseHols website and the viewers of this channel. If you are new to cruising or you're just not sure what a repositioning cruise route is, it's basically where you start at one port and end at another. Unlike a closed loop cruise where you start and end at the same port, you will likely have fewer days at sea, spend more time cruising the region you want to sail in, and you can also spend more time before and after your cruise staying in great cities. Thankfully, there are great repositioning cruise routes that can be enjoyed around the world, and with more and more cruise lines offering these types of cruises, it seems the perfect time to create a new list, looking at 10 more great repositioning cruise itineraries. So as ever, don't forget to like and subscribe, and why not leave a comment below, as I would love to hear your favourite repositioning cruise routes, and who knows, your suggestions may end up in our next video. My name is Darren, and this is my look at 10 more repositioned cruise itineraries. This one mixes a couple of the itineraries on this list into one huge adventure that will need plenty of time, around 35 nights, and lots of money to be able to do so. But if you are lucky enough to be able to do it, it will likely be one of the best cruises you could ever do. Starting somewhere like Sydney, you will head east to the white sandy beaches of the South Pacific island paradises such as Fiji, Samoa and Tonga, before continuing east to Hawaii, where you will sail around the beautiful volcanic islands and often overnight in Honolulu itself. From there you can continue on to the United States, with some ships going into either LA or San Diego in California, and some continuing further north to Seattle or even up to Vancouver in Canada. This one has grown in popularity recently, as it was so often the case that ships from the northeast of America would sail only to Greenland or Canada and back, so if you wanted to go to Iceland for example, you needed to start in Northern Europe. Now there are lots of options to continue your journey from North America to Iceland and on to the rest of Europe, with many itineraries sailing through the incredible Prince Christian Sound. This is an ideal journey for those who love cold weather cruising and who want to visit some of the most remote places in the world. On the Iceland side of things, all ships will embark or disembark in the capital city of Reykjavik, while Boston and New York are the most popular ports in the USA. This is a cruise I have personally done myself, as I sailed between Reykjavik and Boston, through the Prince Christian Sound, and calling in to Nanatalek in Greenland for an adventure that I will always remember. The Baltic Sea has long been a popular place to cruise, with many of the itineraries heading there starting in the UK, so you often have 3 or 4 wasted days just sailing there and back. By choosing a repositioning route, you can spend less time at sea and more time exploring the region, and then you can also add on a stay in one of the region's great turnaround ports such as Copenhagen, Stockholm, Oslo or Helsinki. This is a route that is hugely popular during the festive period, as you can sail to cities such as Copenhagen, Hamburg, Rotterdam, Amsterdam, Zeebrugge and ports in the southeast of England, which offer access to London. Each of those destinations come alive in December with huge Christmas markets and plenty of festive cheer, but it is a route that can be sailed all year round for those wanting to enjoy the history, culture and great shopping opportunities of some of Europe's top cities. A popular option for this route is to start in Southampton and then end in a port such as Copenhagen, but there are a few different options depending on the line you choose to sail with. A regular Mediterranean cruise will see you depart a port such as Barcelona or Civitavecchia, cruise around the Med and then dump back at the same port, but then you spend a lot of time doubling back in the same area and often visiting similar ports. Many lines sailing in the region will offer the chance to start at one port and end at another, but if you want to visit the widest range of ports and have the most variety in your cruise, an itinerary starting in the Western Med and ending in the Eastern Med, or vice versa, will give you just that. One such route is offered by a variety of lines is starting in Barcelona and ending in Athens, that allow you to visit the likes of Italy, France, Egypt, Cyprus, Malta, Israel, the Aegean Sea and the Greek islands for a trip full of history, culture and of course great food. If you were to simply look at a globe, you may think there is not too much of an interest of the cruise between the UK and Iceland, as there is little there other than the Atlantic Ocean. That is far from the case, however, as ships taking the more direct route will call into islands such as the Shetland Isles and Orkney before heading north to the remote Faroe Islands and then on to Iceland. Another popular route is to head northeast from the UK, sail up the coast of Norway, and that offers cruisers the chance to see the idyllic Norwegian fjords before heading northwest to the east coast of Iceland. Both routes will end in the Icelandic capital city of Reykjavik, which is somewhere you can base yourself before exploring the volcanoes, waterfalls and glaciers of Iceland, and then flying home. A huge thank you to Mike B on YouTube for this suggestion. It is another repositioning route that is offered by a few different lines, but as it is often a trip that can see the ship continue onto the other side of the Pacific, it can be a tricky one to book. With only a handful of ships offering it each cruise season, it can be a costly adventure, but one that is well worth it, as you set sail around the eastern seaboard of Australia before heading east to Paradise Islands such as New Caledonia, Vanuatu, Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, French Polynesia, the Cook Islands and American Samoa. A rugby league fan's dream. This is one for people with plenty of time and money at their disposal, but if you are lucky enough to be able to do it, it would be a journey that is well worth your time and effort. You start with a chance to explore the popular tourist city of Sydney, before often calling into Melbourne and Perth, before setting off on an adventure of a lifetime across the Indian Ocean towards southern Africa. Many ships will call into the Indian Ocean islands such as Mauritius or Madagascar, before sailing into the west coast of South Africa and ending in Cape Town. Welcomed by the iconic Table Mountain, cruisers can enjoy a safari before heading back home. Another huge thank you to Mike B and also to Anita Furtado on YouTube, who recommended this one in our last video. It's a great suggestion. We had partially covered it by featuring Pacific coastal cruises in our last list, and that is how many of the journeys start as you sail from Vancouver down to Seattle in the United States. From there, however, there's plenty of sea days as you head across the mighty Pacific Ocean and onto the Hawaiian Islands, before ending in Honolulu. These journeys offer the chance to take in the snowy surrounds of Canada, and then the sun-soaked beaches of Hawaii for a holiday full of differences and full of great photography opportunities. Some lines allow you to make it even more memorable by offering longer itineraries that sail up the Inside Passage to Alaska before setting off southwest to Hawaii. This one just had to top a list such as this for me, as it is one I have just undertaken myself. The Spice Route, also known as the Maritime Silk Road, links the east with the west via a series of ports linking China and Japan to Europe, via India and the Middle East. There are numerous options for this route, with many itineraries also including the chance to sail through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal, but for me, my journey took me from Singapore to India, via Malaysia, Thailand and Sri Lanka. After such an incredible journey, I just had to place it number one on this list, but apart from my memories, it is still worthy of a place thanks to the incredible variety of ports available to visit and a number of ships and lines that are now offering the journey. So all that remains to be said is thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my look at 10 more repositioning cruise itineraries, and see you next time.